Hello everyone, I'm Maharashtra and I welcome you all to another episode of Courts Today on LiveLaw, where we update you about all the important legal developments that took place across the country today. We will begin with developments from the Supreme Court of India and then move on to High Courts and other subordinate courts. If you like our content, then it would mean a lot to us if you could please like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Let's begin. The Supreme Court has agreed to hear tomorrow the petition filed by the state of Andhra Pradesh challenging the High Court order staying the government order which restricted public meetings on roadsides. After the State Council mentioned the matter seeking urgent listing, Chief Justice of India D.Y. Chandrachud agreed to list it tomorrow. Advocate Amit Pai, appearing for respondent on caveat, informed the bench that the stay is expiring on next Monday. A constitution bench of the Supreme Court of India has commenced with the hearing of reference which pertains to the issue whether the arbitration clause in a contract which is required to be registered and stamped but is not registered and stamped is valid and enforceable. On a previous occasion, a 5-judge bench comprising Justices K.M. Joseph, Ajay Rastogi, Aniruddha Bose, Rishikesh Roy and C.T. Ravikumar had passed directions to appoint senior advocate Mr. Gaurav Banerjee as an amicus curiae to assist it, as there is no contesting respondent in this particular matter. The Supreme Court of India has directed the National Green Tribunal to allow Justice Shiv Kumar Singh to hold office as a member of the tribunal until the process of selection of the judicial members was completed and the new judicial members take charge. A bench comprising Chief Justice of India D.Y. Chandrachud and Justice P.S. Narasimha was considering an application filed by Endeavour Legal Defence Firm. Advocate appearing on behalf of the applicant in this case submitted that out of a sanctioned strength of 10 judicial members and 10 expert members, the National Green Tribunal had 6 judicial members and 5 expert members. Last week, the Supreme Court directed a batch of applications seeking inter alia an enhancement of the number of seats reserved for promotion to higher judicial services through a limited departmental competitive examination and the reduction in the requirement of 10 years minimum qualifying service to 7 years for a successful candidate. A division bench of the Supreme Court comprising Justices B.R. Gavai and M.M. Sundaresh was hearing a writ petition pertaining to the members of the subordinate judiciary which has already travelled through several rounds of litigation before the Supreme Court of India and resulted in the issuance of a spate of directions for the betterment of the service conditions of judicial officers across the country. The central government has filed a counter affidavit in the Supreme Court justifying the ban imposed on Students Islamic Movement of India, that is SIMI, extensively referring to the constitution of SIMI, which speaks of objectives like establishment of Islamic system in my country. The centre said that such a constitution must be seen as in direct conflict with the democratic sovereign setup of India and should not be allowed to be perpetuated in a secular society. The centre pointed out that SIMI came into existence on beliefs such as jihad, that is religious war, for the cause of Islam and destruction of nationalism and establishment of Islamic rule. The hearing in the case in the Supreme Court between the central government and the Delhi government regarding the administrative control over transfers and postings of civil servants in the national capital took an interesting turn today, with the central government seeking a reference of the matter to a larger bench at the very fag end of the hearing. A 5-judge bench led by Chief Justice of India D.Y. Chandrachud had been hearing the matter since January 10th. Senior advocate Dr. Abhishek Manu Singhvi completed his arguments on behalf of the Delhi government and Solicitor General of India Tushar Mehta made arguments on behalf of the central government over the last few days. Today, the matter was posted for rejoinder arguments of Dr. Singhvi when such a request was made by the centre. Supreme Court Judge Justice Dinesh Maheshwari has expressed displeasure at the conduct of senior advocate Vikas Singh, the president of the Supreme Court Bar Association, in raising an unnecessary objection about the order of hearing of cases in the court. The bench, comprising Justices Dinesh Maheshwari and Bela M. Trivedi, after hearing the fresh matters, straightaway took up one matter which was heard in part yesterday. Senior Advocate Vikas Singh then made an interruption to make an objection. Justice Maheshwari pointed out that it was specified in the list that after fresh matters, the matters in the supplementary list will be taken. But after Singh persisted with the objection, a heated exchange followed. The Supreme Court has resumed hearing the tech giant Google's plea challenging the order of the National Company Law Appellate Tribunal, which declined to stay the Competition Commission of India's decision to impose Rs 1,338 crore penalty on it for unfair and anti-competitive practices in relation to Android phones. The matter was listed before CCI D.Y. Chandrachud, Justice P.S. Narasimha and Justice J.B. Pardiwala. Google India has approached the Supreme Court challenging the order passed by the NCLAT on January 6th, refusing to stay CCI's order and directing it to pay 10% of the penalty amount within a period of 3 weeks. The Supreme Court of India has agreed for an early listing of a petition seeking to hold local body polls in the state of Maharashtra. The matter was mentioned before a bench comprising Chief Justice D.Y. Chandrachud and Justice P.S. Narasimha. Upon mentioning of this matter, CCI D.Y. Chandrachud said, and I quote here, "We list an early date, Mr. Solicitor General, you are in UP matter. Ultimately, it would be about the triple test. You'll have to take instructions from the government how they want to proceed." The Chief Justice was referring to the Supreme Court's stay on the Allahabad High Court's direction to the Uttar Pradesh State Election Commission to notify the urban local body polls without OBC reservation. BharatPe's former managing director Ashneer Grover today told the Delhi High Court that he will not make any third-party interest in the 16,110 shares transferred to him by fintech company's co-founder Bhavik Koladia, and in any rights that accrue to him as a consequence thereof, subject to further orders of the court. Hearing a suit filed by Koladia along with an interim application to restrain Grover from creating any third-party rights in respect of the shares in BharatPe, Justice Pratik Jalan ordered that Grover will be bound by his statement and directed him to file an undertaking to this effect within a period of 1 week. In a relief for Nationalist Congress Party leader Anand Paranjpe, the Maharashtra police today informed the Bombay High Court that it will pursue only one and not all 11 FIRs registered against him. A division bench of Justice Revati Mohita Dede and Justice Prithviraj Chauhan also directed the police to continue their investigation but not file charge sheet against Paranjpe until further orders. Thank you. Keep watching Courts Today on LiveLaw for more such updates. See you tomorrow.